Being an astronaut is one of the coolest jobs in the world. Like the team of pilots from Top Gun, this is a job that is reserved for the brightest minds and best hands, except extraterrestrial observation is their day job. What are the perks and letdowns of the job? How much of their careers do they spend in space? Join us as we discuss the 10 surprising facts on becoming a NASA astronaut. Number 1. Hiring is tough. Around 18,000 applications are received for only a few spots on the NASA team annually. This means the vetting process is very rigorous. Human resources personnel review each application to see if the candidates meet the basic qualifications. After that, the qualified applications are reviewed at the next stage by the astronaut rating panel. The panel is made up of about 50 experts, most of which are current astronauts, so as an applicant, you must bring your A game. Among the several thousand applications, only a few hundred of the most qualified candidates make it through to the next stage. Reference checks are then conducted on each candidate. The selected candidates are called in for interviews and medical screening by a smaller group of experts called the Astronaut Selection Board. This is where the top 50 candidates are selected. That's not all. These 50 high-performance candidates go through another round of interviews and more medical screenings. The final astronaut candidates will be selected from this group of 50. The lucky candidates that make the cut receive a phone call from the head of the Flight Operation Directorate at NASA's Johnson Space Center and also from the chief of the astronaut office. NASA asks the candidates to share the news only with immediate family until an official announcement is made. NASA would then hold a news conference to announce the new candidates and invite journalists to ask questions to the new astronaut class. In no time, the candidates are plunged into the rigor of the training with little time to talk with the outside world for several months at the least. But there would be a few weeks between when the astronauts are selected and when they move to Houston, Texas. In that time, they will end their current jobs and arrange to move with their families to Houston. Number 2. You have to be in top form. The difficult jobs in a spacecraft or on a space station far from home requires an astronaut to be in top physical shape. That's why the medicals for hiring are so grueling. It's not a job for lazy bones, but for intelligent and competent people at the top of their game. Some of the physical requirements include 20 out of 20 vision that comes either naturally or with corrective lenses, blood pressure not more than 149 in a sitting position, and your height must be between 5'2" and 6'3". Another reason you must be in extremely good shape to be an astronaut is because it's expensive to make an emergency return to Earth in case of a medical emergency in orbit. Number 3, you need a robust skill set. Since 1959, when the first group of 7 hotshots were selected for the Mercury program, NASA had selected over 20 classes of astronauts. The first few classes were drawn largely from the military because who better to deal with the uncertainty and extreme dangers of space? But the space program has grown and changed significantly since then. And as NASA's program evolved, more diverse skill sets were needed. The class of astronauts that first walked the moon in 1969 had in their company a geologist, Harrison J. Schmitt, who was the only geologist to walk on the moon, while the 16th class had 44 members that were selected for frequent space shuttle flights to build out the International Space Station in 1966. Many skills will prove to be useful and will make a nice addition to an astronaut's skill set, such as scuba diving, wilderness experience, leadership experience, and fluency with a number of languages. Number 4. You get to learn spacewalk. You might not be able to deliver the smooth moonwalk of Michael Jackson, but you get to learn how to move under zero gravity. The astronauts practice spacewalk at the 60-foot deep swimming pool, also called the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory at the Johnson Space Center. You also get to learn some robotics with a simulated spacecraft using a practice version of the station's robotic arm, Canadarm2, how to fly airplanes, and how to operate on the International Space Station. Number 5. Deep communication skills. Since working on the International Space Station would mean cooperating with many foreign partners, an astronaut must have deep communication skills. While the astronaut candidates selected by NASA will be principally working with that agency, they also find themselves embedded in a network of international partnerships. For example, Roscosmos, the Russian Federal Space Agency, operates several modules in the station and ferries astronauts to space using the Soyuz rocket. In fact, it's very important for candidates to learn Russian, as it would boost their chances of becoming an astronaut. Number 6. Working with robotics. The Canadian Space Agency heavily participates in robotic operations, such as capturing cargo ships with the Canadarm2. Other major international partners include the European Space Agency and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Each of these agencies has its own astronauts working on the space station and in the astronaut office, along with commercial partners in the United States like SpaceX and Blue Origin developing spaceflight hardware in partnership with NASA. There are 16 nations participating in the International Space Station, each with its own realm of expertise. The translator better stays on. Number 7. New spacecraft design and testing. NASA hopes to again move beyond low Earth orbit for missions to the Moon and Mars. This will require the use of the Orion spacecraft for deep space exploration. The new astronauts may begin their careers traveling to the International Space Station, or they may find themselves flying farther. It all depends on where the space policy of the United States goes in the coming years, and also what programs NASA finds itself involved in. The space station is scheduled to last until 2024, but could be extended until 2028 or even longer. Aside from the perks of flaunting new spacecraft, NASA hopes to bring astronauts to Mars in the 2030s if its current plan has support for that long. As part of that, the agency recently announced a kind of deep space gateway space station near the Moon that could help astronauts train for deep space missions or prepare for a voyage to Mars. Number 8. You don't need an advanced degree. Believe it or not, NASA's basic requirements are a bachelor's degree in engineering, biological science, physical science, computer science or mathematics, followed by 3 years of professional experience or 1,000 hours of pilot-in-command time in jet aircraft. An advanced degree is great, but may be substituted for experience, since a master's degree equals 1 year of experience, a doctoral degree equals 3 years of experience. Teaching experience is considered to be qualifying experience for the astronaut candidate position, including experience at the K-12 levels, as long as the degree is within the fields of science, engineering, or mathematics. Number 9. Astronauts spend only a fraction of their careers in space. While we mostly pay attention to astronauts while they are in space, most astronauts will spend only a fraction of their careers up high. Most of their time will be spent training and supporting other missions in technical roles, including supporting current missions or advising NASA engineers on how to develop future spacecraft. Number 10. No guarantee for space travel. Even after leaving a prestigious career for a chance at being an astronaut, there is no guarantee that they will make it into space. Being an astronaut is a tremendous commitment. The candidates that are selected tend to be in their 30s and 40s, start again at the bottom to be an astronaut after abandoning substantial accomplishments in another career. Training means long days at work and lots of travel. Although a lot is sacrificed in order to be an astronaut, you can use the time as an astronaut to climb the ranks in other careers. For example, military astronauts can often have a joint assignment at NASA, allowing them to keep gaining in rank while performing missions and other astronaut duties. Or those in the sciences can try to choose missions and duties related to their past careers, allowing them to continue to publish scientific journal papers and take on other duties that could lead to advancement in academia. There are many inspiring stories of astronauts that had tried multiple times before making it into the final draft. Do not give up on your dream to reach for the stars. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing content. See you on the next one. Until then, bye.